Today we are going to be reviewing Loathe to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. It is a anthology, a feminist novella collection including Under One Roof, Stuck With You and Below Zero. As usual, welcome back to the channel if you've been here before. My name is Arimi and I do book reviews on YouTube. You can check me out on Goodreads under Louis Hughes. There is a link in my YouTube channel. And as usual, I don't know what people do or don't class as a spoiler. I am trying to make these reviews spoiler free. However, a lot of the plot for a lot of Ali Hazelwood's books, as far as I can tell, is just tropes. So it is, I feel like there's so much you can discuss with that before it becomes spoilers. So I'll leave it up to you. If you haven't read any of these yet and you want to watch a video about the book without any spoilers for definite, this maybe click off and come back. But without further ado, let's get into the review. So, Loathe to Love You by Ali Hazelwood. Safe to say, I didn't enjoy. The third book was my favourite, I will say. The other two, so Below Zero, I thought that was very smartly wrote. I liked how the characters didn't just have one defining personality trait. I feel like in a lot of Ali Hazelwood's books, the characters are usually quite bland. But Below Zero was indeed a brilliant read. The first two books, Under One Roof and Stuck With You, not really that memorable. The book itself, the first two books just were utterly disappointing for me. It's difficult to really form an opinion. Like the first book, I saw that we had a redhead main character, so my hopes were up here because usually we have a lot of redhead characters are up with personality, and her personality was her hair. I don't know how I was supposed to respond to that. Your personality is your hair, and how hot do you think your roommate is? That is the plot of the book. The plot of the book. It was enemies to lovers without really being enemies to lovers. It was grumpy and sunshine without being grumpy and sunshine. The first one tried to be a lot of things and it felt it was just underdeveloped. I feel like if she had wrote the book as a full book, like say Love on the Brain, we might have gotten something other than her hair colour being her personality. So I was really disappointed with all the non-stop pining. The prologue utterly disgusted me. Why are we going straight into the spice in the prologue? Straight in there, just no warning. I get to the end, I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. That sounds brilliant. It was, for 120 odd pages, the first book did a lot. For 120 pages, I don't think I myself could have put so many tropes into 120 pages. I was impressed by that. But in the same breath, it was a spicy read, which I wasn't expecting. And I don't understand how you can hate someone so much and then there be spice. Just it didn't feel natural. It felt forced to me. So I didn't particularly enjoy the first one, which is Under One Roof. Also, an environmental engineer discovers that scientists should never cohabitate, when she finds herself stuck in the roommate from hell, a detestable big oil lawyer who won't leave the thermostat alone. There's so much shit that Ali could have put in there about, the jobs, about the characters' lives, and she never really expanded upon that. Which I think is a shame, because the premise for a great story was there. It just missed. It missed in every way possible. Then we have Stuck With You, which I can't even remember the names. I just remember, not even just because of the pictures down here, one of it, like the blonde dude and the girl with the black hair, and she's working for someone who she thinks is completely badass, total, strong feminist. I could tell you more about her boss than I could tell you about either of those two characters, or both of them combined. It was, again, you're writing about sustainability, you're writing about environmentalism, as far as I'm concerned, within a character. If you are going to include those as defining elements of a character, introduce us to the world a little bit more. That's all I really have to say on that one. And Ali Hazelwood just only seems to write big, strong guys. It would be interesting for there to be a more diverse range of love interests, rather than it always being the same macho man. Like, give me a tall dude who's really skinny. Give me short and quite. Give me a bigger build. Don't just make men and their only personality traits their muscles. It reads so dully. Oh, and the fact that they have some sort of job that you never really learn all that much about. It's just there. It just seems to be a plot of convenience rather than a plot of actual value. I would have loved to know, like, Under One Roof, I would have loved to know more about the big oil lawyer. I have to keep checking on the back of here because that's how. I couldn't tell you anything about, except for the third book. The third book, I could tell you quite a lot about the two characters in there, but the first two books were just read like utter drivel. I feel like TikTok, like the global bestseller in TikTok sensation, BookTok is just, from what I can tell, destroying the quality of books and promoting really shocking quality of books. When I found out that The Plant Bride, who's another YouTuber who does about books, also really does not like Ali Hazelwood and has only read 2 books, it did make me feel a bit better because I value their opinion quite a lot on books. This doesn't even read like rubbish fan fiction. I can't think of what to compare this to. If I feel like this is a book that is probably better off in the hands of lonely housewives. I feel like that would be the best audience for this book, which I am clearly not. But it just, the third book, Below Zero, honestly, I like the world building in it. The beginning of the book was really confusing for me. I didn't realise the plot had changed slightly, and so there will be spoilers in this one because I can tell you more about that one. Below Zero, our main lead, I can't tell you the name either, that is how bad. But our female lead is in some sort of snowy area, and she's involved in an accident, and she hates this guy. And then in the next few pages, we found out she doesn't actually hate the guy, and she was very excited to meet him, and a friend has managed to hook her up into a conversation with this guy over some sort of an embarrassing video on that the family has of him. And I don't know if I can talk about the embarrassing video, but that stuck with me more than the rest of the plot, I cannot lie. Like, I was laughing at that. Like, that's what books should do. Books should make you feel things, and if you can't feel anything about a book, it's probably a sign that the book's not for you. But I was desperate to try and, I made it my goal to try and find another one of Ali Hazelwood's books, which read, and is as enjoyable for me as Love theoretically does. But all the books that I have been reading by Ali Hazelwood, I've just read so forced. And I've put the book down, I'd come back a few hours later, I'd reread bits, and it never changed. It didn't change. I can't lie, I'm reading Crystal Lane and De Lacey's The Last Dragon Chronicles. I got more enjoyment out of a book that was literally just about squirrels and really agitated me because it was only speaking about squirrels than I did out of most of these books. But yeah, when she ends up going to the Arctic with the male main lead, and they're doing some research, and it turns there's miscommunication, and they end up hating each other, and then he comes to save her, which it's a running theme in a lot of Ali Hazelwood's writing. Can we just get a strong female lead where she doesn't need rescuing? Like, can we just... You have the capability, Ali Hazelwood. I doubt she'll ever see this. I know she has the capability, but the women do not always need to be saved by a big, strong, macho man. Like, we can do better. Like, women can be strong, they can be smart, and they can get the guy without needing to be rescued by him. If there are any books out there that are like that, I hope I can discover it and read it, because I would love a book with a strong female lead that does not need to be rescued by some strong man. Like, we can just do better than this, TikTok. We can do better than this, BookTube. We can do so much better when it comes to literature. But for some reason, Ali Hazelwood keeps getting pushed into my algorithm. So I was like, well, there must be another book. There must be another book I'm going to enjoy. But yeah, Below Zero, it wasn't hot and steamy, it wasn't too spicy, but the kiss scene felt like it was rewarding when I read it, but it just, 3 stars, because it had, we learn about the moon landing. It's not moon landing. We learn about Mars. We learn about this team that he operated on when, for some reason, when he was a teenager, that he was ahead of his time. And she ends up hating him, resenting him for it, and over some silly miscommunications, and they become best buddies and then lovers by the end of the book. The Grumpy and Sunshine, I wouldn't necessarily describe him as grumpy, as he'd probably be more under stoic, so he kind of like to keep to himself and do things on his own, and then she comes and she's kind of rescuing and helping him fix some code earlier in the book, and then obviously there's the shift in dynamics in the relationship, and it just... Below Zero is what Ali Hazelwood should be writing like for a lot of the books. Like, it didn't rub me as much the wrong way as the other 2 books were, because I couldn't find anything of the girl helping the guy. It was mostly the girl getting saved by the guy, and then somehow there's a spark and it's romantic, and it was not. I know I don't have a different understanding of romance to a lot of people, partly because of my sexuality, because I am ero-ace, but it just, the first 2 books read, again, like they was wrote by a teenager discovering love, and it just, as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong, hold on, Ali Hazelwood is not a teenager, and she's not writing... Yeah, I don't even know how the New Times are calling it swoony novels, because I am trying to find the swoon, and other than, I think his name was Jack in Theoretically, there is nothing that stands out in these books. But yeah, so Ian and Hannah in Sub-Zero? Below Zero. Ali, you can write like that. You can write as well as that. Why do you keep writing worse? Like, we know you can write good. Why aren't you writing the same quality? And it's also, I feel like a lot, but you will have seen my Love on the Brain review by now, and if not, click off it and go on the video, but it just... all of the love interests this lady writes read like the same fucking character. Like, pardon my language, but it's the same character. Why is it the same character? It's the same character with different hair and a different name just thrown into a pot, and it's really boring. Like, how many people are on the planet, and you can only write the one trope for a man, and it's boring. Like, I've seen, like, there's evidence in some of the books that I've read by Ali that she can write very well, and she can write these deep meaning characters, and I just feel like she doesn't write them anymore. I mean, it's what sells, from what I can tell, but I don't understand why anyone would willingly read the same thing over and over again. I need a change, I need something fresh, I need something other than poorly wrote romance that's supposed to be romantic, but ultimately is always just the girl getting saved by the guy. I rated it a 2, the whole anthology, or whatever you want to call it. I don't, you know, but honestly, I rated Under One Roof, Stuck With You, and as 2 stars because they were just rubbish, and Below Zero was a 3 star because I saw the development of the character in the book. It felt more real than the other 2 books. I felt like there was more to the characters, to the worlds, to the jobs, but the first 2 not so much. And it's just, I think it's sad when we have an author who we know can create really high quality work or better quality than most of the books, and we just rarely see it. So I think I might give one more of her books a try, I don't know. Because it kind of so Below Zero kind of saved the book for me, but for the most part it was just the same trope, the same man. They've got different names. Oh, they're in science, that's brilliant. And then we had the world building about, there was a lot in there about the space, about Mars, about the different landings and stuff, and I just wish that she wrote more details about the jobs in the other books that she writes, because the quality is there, the ability is there, the execution and how often she writes that well, not so much. So overall, because it was a 2-star read for me, I didn't enjoy that. But yeah, if you've read this book and you have a different opinion to me, I'm very curious what you liked. I am, and if you can help jog my memory about this book, then brilliant. I literally sat in silence and read this. I don't know why I can't remember, like, anything, but that's all I can see. It's the same copied and pasted male lead, same copy and pasted female character. They've just either got one thing that defines the personality, their hair, their quirkiness, whatever, and it just reads boring for me. I hope Ali Hazelwood can and will produce some better quality books, especially when I know and I've seen it in some of her work that she can write well. It's just a shame that the more popular ones, the ones that I keep getting recommended, the ones that I am trying to get some of that magic that I enjoyed from Love Theoretically, just isn't in there. It was in Below Zero. I wish it had continued throughout the book. I really enjoyed that, but it was not outstanding. It just, a lot of it reads poorly. And if you enjoy, I am curious why people enjoy this book, because I just hear people saying they love it, and it's great, I think, for people to enjoy a book and talk about what they love about it, but when the only thing I'm getting is they loved it. Why did you love it? Like, because I do think, while I didn't particularly enjoy, and a lot of this is just wishy-washy to me, clear, if someone enjoyed this book, and I know there are people that enjoy this book, I don't think it's a case of whether I understand or don't understand. I think for me it's more of a case that the characters don't seem that well built to me, but to someone else they might be, and I'm curious what other people's opinions are on the characters and the world building of this book. I am absolutely fascinated. I am going to try, after posting this video, try and find videos of positive reviews to try and get a better understanding of why people like it. Why I'm wasting my time on this, I don't know. I don't think it's time wasted if I can understand someone else's opinion on it. But it's looking like I probably won't be finishing my read all of Ali Hazelwood's books challenge that I'd set for myself, because I don't think I can handle reading any more of her books if they all read the same. It just, Love Theoretically had its own story, and there was a lot of struggles that our main character in that book struggled with that I personally have also struggled with, so it made the book really more enjoyable for me. But then in other areas it was just, I feel like it's the only good book she wrote. I struggled with a few of her other books, but as we know, yeah. I'll sit. This video's getting to 20 minutes for a book that I honestly didn't enjoy that much. So we're going to leave it there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any different opinions, I'd love to hear them. If there is an Ali Hazelwood book you do think, you know, 10 out of 10, just give this book a try. Also feel free to let me know. If you have any Grumpy and Sunshine romance recommendations that are good, please let me know, because after mentioning the thing about the Grumpy Sunshine trope, I can't actually name any off the top of my head that I enjoyed. But I don't doubt that there will be one out there that I do. And I don't know if that's just because my brain doesn't function properly because of certain medical conditions I've got, but I know that I have read a few good Grumpy Sunshine books in the past. I just can't remember them. But when I say the past, I'm talking over 10 years ago, which, you know, if anyone can remember a book from over 10 years ago, I'll be impressed. I do think Cemetery Boys actually was a good one. That did it well. It was also a very bizarre combination, but I digress. I hope you enjoy this video. If you haven't checked out my other reviews, then don't forget to check them out. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!